It's getting harder and harder and harder to make money in an accounting firm as the days progress. Recently I attended an industry workshop in Bali run by Rob Nixon, and the big thing that came out of that was how technology is making massive changes into the accounting profession. And that is now being added to by the threats that are now being placed upon the industry by technology. And the new players in the marketplace, Xero has obviously launched its wonderful product. MYOB is now bouncing back and offering its product. QuickBooks is coming back in with a product offering, which again, unfortunately, has productized the industry because of the big selling feature for them is price. But there is to and froing all the way along. And what it seems to mean for the industry is the pricing for your services is going down further and further and further. So I've got a model that I'd like to run past you that might help you claw back some of your clients. And it's to do with how you set your operating strategy for your business. So here's the model, and it's worked very well for some of my clients in the past, and I hope that it might work well for you and your practice moving forward. So what we're looking at is to get our operating strategy, we need to look at what is our sustainable competitive advantage. Now that to a large extent depends on the clients you're dealing with, because the clients aren't interested in the fact that you're charging 6-minute units or 1-minute units. They don't care that every time they call you, it's on the clock. What they care about are the benefits. What they care about is the value that you as the accountant are creating for them as the client. So with that in mind, you need to identify your market segments that you're working with, because that in turn is going to look at how you set your marketing strategy. Now for this, what you need to be considering is what is your area of specialisation? What is your market niche? What is your intellectual IP that gives you a point of difference rather than just being an accountant? So with some clients, some of your clients are going to be interested in the fact that you do tax compliance. And some others is going to be your services and skills. You might be an outstanding financial planner. And when you're talking about being a financial planner, it might be that you've got great skills in setting up trusts. It could be that you know investment strategies. It could be that you've got access to property trusts. It could be that you've got certain areas of expertise in managing people's money prior to retirement, or you might be concerned with some professional groups where you've got some areas of expertise that you've developed over the years. Now, what your marketing strategy is going to require is that you highlight your marketing expertise and then you market to that segment. It's no use marketing to a segment that doesn't get it, doesn't get what your area of specialisation is. It could be that you specialise in succession planning, where you're used to dealing with mums and dads, where the patriarch and the matriarch are handing over to their children. And it could be that you've got some expertise with dealing with blended families, or the families that are coming up to take over mum and dad's business, and you've got the expertise that can step them through the minefield. Now, it's no use if you can't articulate in advance to customers that are looking for someone with those skills. Now, if you've got these skills, how do you market it? Well, that depends on your marketing strategy, and that depends on what your sustainable competitive advantage. What are you good at? What are you good for? What is your niche that you've carved out for yourself? It could be that you do consulting, but your area of specialisation could be in the mergers and acquisitions arena. It could be that you've got a specialisation on vendor terms. Or it could be that you deal with individuals and you do things like salary packaging. Or you might have an area of expertise of golden handcuffs, where you can lock that employee down to that employer and provide your clients, which is the employer, with those added bonuses such as employment contracts or employment law advice. You might have some connections with alliance partners through to some people who can provide to you advice that you can pass on to your clients, or you might be able to provide a friendly introduction to a lawyer who's got expertise within that area, and that way you become more significant and more valuable to your client. It might be that you are dealing with share investors, and these investors might be interested in your area of expertise with franking credits or dividend imputation or put and call options. Whatever your area of expertise is different to what a marketing strategy needs to be for someone who's doing tax compliance. So accountants that deal in tax compliance, financial planning, succession planning, consulting, M&As, it could be property investors. So where you've got shares here, it could be a property investor. And they could be long-term buy and hold people. It could be that they want strategies around renting the properties out. It could be that they want to run short-term stay accommodation. It could be that they want to do buy and hold strategies. It could be that they want to get finance, and that you might be an expert in finance. So all of these client groups are different, and your business is going to need to look at how do you market to each of these individual client segments. So what you're looking for is, firstly, what is your competitive advantage? What is your area of expertise? And we look at saying, okay, well, tax compliance is one type of client. Financial planning is another need that clients have. Sometimes not necessarily succession planning. That might be for another client group. Consulting with mergers and acquisition could be another type of client. If you're dealing in expertise around individuals, salary packaging, golden handcuff, that sort of thing, these are other types of clients. And wherever you've got areas of expertise, that then becomes your market segment. So you look first at your sustainable competitive advantage. You then look towards your marketing strategy, because your competitive advantage will drive your marketing strategy to attract and attack these market segments. Then that feeds down into your operations strategy. Now, the operations strategy is how you're going to be running the business. And what we're looking at here is what supports or what's going to be needed to support the operations strategy. So we need to look at what are going to be your innovations in the coming 12 months. What new introductions are you going to do to your clients? Is it going to be that perhaps you'll provide the software, whether it be Xero or MYOB or QuickBooks, are you going to provide that for free? Could it be that you're going to be targeting business owners and providing monthly management meetings? Could you use a sweetener to offer a discounted cash flow budget? Could you do the cash flow budget at a reasonable cost, whatever your break-even cost is, and then offer to throw in the first 2 management meetings for free? What is your innovation strategy? So these ideas, you need to sit down with your team and find ways to manage your innovation strategy. So sit down and come up with what ideas are we going to come up with. That will feed into the operation strategy, because you need to then say, well, when do we release these initial innovative ideas? Now it comes down to our human resources strategy. What are we going to do as a company to attract top quality employees? What are we going to do to keep them? What are we going to do to remunerate them when we're on limited income and we want to maintain that income for our partner dividend or our shareholder dividend? What ideas do we have to reward our staff, to keep our staff happy, to retain our staff? What are the innovation ideas around our human resources strategy? So you've got to be thinking about these things here that's going to support our operations strategy. And then we come down to our financial strategy. Some accountants that I've worked with over the years have got thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars tied up in cash, in debtors, which is, as you know, is people are owing you money. Why do clients owe you money? What do you need to do to turn that around, turn it on its head? What is your strategy? What is your financial strategy for your practice? So the whole thing is to identify these financial strategies to support your operational strategy. This then will look at your sustainable competitive advantage, identifying your marketing strategy, which is going to drive down to your operations strategy. This is all dependent upon the type of clients that you're targeting, because the message that you use to target any of these types of clients will be different, and you don't want to send out one message for everybody. This is the tool that I use within my consulting practice, and I would commend it to you to see if it will add value to your accounting practice.